Hey everyone, and welcome. So you're diving into Microsoft Fabric, and if you've spent any time with it, you know just how powerful this thing is. But with all that power comes a whole new vocabulary, right? Well, today we're going to decode that language. We're going to build a really clear mental blueprint so you can finally get a handle on all of Fabric's core concepts. I mean, right off the bat, you're getting hit with words like tenant, capacity, workspace, experience, item, and yeah, it can feel a little overwhelming. It's so easy to get them all mixed up. But hey, don't worry. By the end of this, you're going to see how all these pieces snap together in a really simple, logical way. Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we're going to use a super simple analogy. I want you to think of Microsoft Fabric as your company's entire digital office building. It's the headquarters for every single data project you have. Just hang on to that picture in your head because we're going to build on it every step of the way. All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to start with the absolute biggest piece, the building itself. That's the tenant. Then we'll talk about what powers it all. That's capacity. After that, we'll head inside to the different floors, which are the workspaces. And finally, we'll check out the specialized rooms and the actual tools inside them, experiences and items. And just like that, you'll have the full picture. First up, let's talk about the foundation of everything, the tenant. This is like the 30,000-foot view, the very top of the pyramid. Okay, so if you look it up, the official definition says, a tenant is a single instance of Fabric for an organization aligned with a Microsoft Entra ID, which is, basically your company's main identity system. And yeah, that's technically correct. But what does that actually mean in the real world, like for us? This is where our analogy really starts to click. Just think of it this way. The tenant is the entire office building. Period. There's only one building for your whole company. It holds everything. All your data, all your teams, all your projects. It's that simple. One company, one building, one tenant. All right, so we've got our building. Awesome. But, a building without power is just a dark, empty box, right? And that brings us to the next piece of the puzzle, capacity. So technically, capacity is a dedicated set of resources available to be used. You can think of this as the raw computing power. It's the engine that makes absolutely everything in Fabric go. It's a big, shared pool of processing power for your entire organization. And this is where the analogy gets even better. Capacity is basically the building's utilities. It's the electricity, the water, the super fast fiber internet that everyone plugs into. It's this shared resource that every single floor and every room uses to get work done. And of course, the bigger the job, the more power it pulls from that central source. Okay, our building has power. Now it's time to actually go inside and see where the work gets done. And for that, we need workspaces. So a workspace, by definition, is a place where you collect all your stuff to collaborate with your team. It's really just a dedicated digital area where a group can work together, and it has its own security so you can make sure only the right people have access. So in our office building, a workspace is just a floor. Simple as that. Maybe you have the marketing team on the 5th floor and the sales team on the 6th. Each floor is its own secure collaborative workspace. All of their files, their projects, their tools, it's all right there, on their floor, perfectly organized for them. All right, we're really zooming in now. We're on a specific department's floor, our workspace. But where does the real work actually happen on that floor? Well, that involves our last two concepts, experiences and items. Well, first you have what's called an experience. The official description is a collection of capabilities for a specific function. So think of things like data engineering or Power BI. Each one is a whole environment tailored for a certain kind of job. Back to our building, an experience is like a specialized room on your department's floor. So say you're on the data science team's floor. The data engineering experience, that's your high-tech data lab filled with all the specialized gear you need. And the Power BI experience, that's the design studio down the hall where you build all your awesome presentations. And finally, the last piece. What are you actually making in these special rooms? You're creating items. An item is the actual thing you're building, the report, the notebook, the data model. It's the tangible project file you're working on. And this table here just makes it super clear. You've got the experience on one side. That's your room, your lab. And on the other, you have the items, the actual projects you build in that room. So inside your data engineering lab, you create items like a lakehouse or a notebook. And in that Power BI design studio, you create items like reports. It's that direct relationship. Okay.
We've put up the walls, we've turned on the power, and we've set up all the rooms. Now, let's take a step back and look at the whole blueprint we just built together.
Here it is, the whole hierarchy, from top to bottom. You start with the one big tenant. That's your entire office building. Inside that building, you have multiple workspaces. Those are your department floors. On each of those floors, you have different experiences, the specialized labs and studios. And inside those rooms, you create and work on your items, the actual project files. See? It's a clean, logical flow from huge to tiny. And this is the main thing I really want you to take away from all this. Fabric isn't just some messy toolbox. It's an incredibly organized structure, designed from the ground up for clarity and collaboration. This entire hierarchy, from the tenant all the way down to a single item, is there to make sure everything has a proper home. So there you have it. You've got the blueprint. You know the difference between the building, the floor, the room, and the tools inside. The only question left is, now that you know how it all works, what are you going to build?